Hey Scorpios, and welcome to your December 2019 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to bring you hopefully an inspiring and healing reading for your month ahead. I think that your energy is really having a big change right now. We are all kind of having a big change right now. We're preparing for that Jupiter in Capricorn. We're preparing for a big shift in paradigm. And, the beginning of December, as we're moving out of November especially, is really a time of reorienting ourselves and reintroducing ourselves to who we are, what we want, and what we're moving toward. And I think that you are really having a leg up in doing this. I think that the energy is nice and familiar for you. Jupiter in Sagittarius, which is the transit that we just had for all of 2019, is not really, it's neither here nor there for you. Sometimes it can be nice, sometimes it can create a bit of friction. It's kind of a peripheral energy, unless you had a lot of Sagittarius in your chart. But Jupiter in Capricorn, even though it's kind of tough for other people, it's actually more harmonious for you. So you might see that everybody around you or the people, surrounding are struggling a little bit more than you, and people might sort of be reaching out or asking for help or sort of looking to you to help them perhaps. You have to really be aware of how you're moving forward during this time. It's not a good time to really just coast. You have to coast in a way, but there has to be an awareness of what your next move is that really starts to develop in December. It can be a very busy time, I think, for everybody as it is the holidays. But I think for you, there's just a really, really strong need to, what do I want to say? Redevelop yourself, redevelop the formula, redevelop how you're moving forward and getting stronger. Because I do think there's something that really impacted you either in late October or sometime in November. I think that something really unexpected came in, or someone really unexpected came in. And I do think that that's still processing in your psyche, okay? So it feels like there might have been something that would have previously been reacted to as a trauma, but this time you overcame it very easily, and this time you kind of were able to just put it off to the side and continue with your life, but it's still ruminating beneath the surface. So we had that really incredible Mercury retrograde in Scorpio throughout the beginning of November, and throughout most of the month of November, and that would have really emphasized and accentuated anything that you hadn't dealt with yet, and it would have really encouraged a true type of closure. So as you move into December, you're kind of a different person, and that's what I want to really make you aware of before we start on your tarot reading, is the way the energies are going to come up may be different. The way that you get inspiration or motivation in your life may be different. Your life force and your desires may be different than they've ever been. And now it's time to really start to absorb that and understand what that means. So on that note, Scorpios, let's go ahead and cut the cards for you and see what's coming up for you this month. Okay, so week number 1 in December for you Scorpios, you have the 5 of Cups. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Rooted down by 4 of Swords reversed. So yeah, that's exactly sort of the energy line that I was feeling about something that might have been very difficult to go through, or something that might have actually been way harder than you realized it was, to accept or to see, or even like a smear campaign. Some of your reputations might have been not threatened, but it feels like it all feels like it's beneath the surface to a degree. It feels like it's not like a public opinion type of thing, but it feels like somebody maybe really accused you of something that wasn't true, or that's not going to be right for all of you. Of course, not everyone's been accused of something false, but that is what I'm hearing, like false accusations, and you might have to really be making that right, or you might have to be really seeing that people needed to feel victimized or needed to feel overwhelmed. I feel like you're taking the brunt of some kind of blame, really. It feels like somebody really blamed you for something in November, maybe, and here you are getting to the bottom of that and figuring that out in the beginning of December, because we don't want to walk with that into the next year. We've got a few more months of pig year left, okay? And this is a lot of what pig year is about. It is about coming face to face with the threatening things. It's about, sort of looking at, okay, this has been working beneath the surface in my life. These memories, these traumas, these experiences have been something that I've not realized. They've been motivating me in unrealized ways. And then things manifest into the real world during a pig year that show you that very clearly. So yeah, we have a few more months here in this year cycle of the Chinese year, to really understand what that was and to overcome that, because we want to move into the next year with kind of a blank slate. Pig is a finalization type of energy. It's a closing, ending phase. So we have to really start over around March. Okay. So here we are really wrapping things up. And this is starting here. You're purging out emotions. Don't deny yourself rest. I sense that the first week of December, you might be working too hard. And you might be kind of worried about how things continue, or there might actually be a lot of options. There might be a lot of ways that you could go with what you're doing, and don't let it discourage you. Like, don't let Five of Cups freak you out. I don't feel that this is channeling through in like overt sadness or grief, but I feel like things have been turned over or spilled to a degree over the last year, and this isn't new. This isn't something that's going to like bombard you in the first week of December, but it's like these things that have been ruminating in the back of your head or in your gut about, okay, yeah, this aspect of my life is just off. You know, these family members are relying on me for this and I can't deliver that. And that's a really chaotic confusing experience. Or, I'm in this relationship and so many things have gone awry, but it's still connected, or it got suddenly cut off even though I felt like nothing had gone wrong. There's a sense of, why is time treating me this way? And we don't want to turn this into an existential crisis, because also what's happening in this first week is Jupiter is going to Capricorn. So it's going to naturally encourage you to be a bit more pessimistic, really pragmatic, but it can come through for some people who are more or less optimistic. Naturally, it can become more of an overt pessimism. So watch out for that here. You want to be able to rest your mind. You are protected, I'm feeling. I want to look at the second week and see where we're at. Two of Pentacles reversed. Rooted down by Five of Wands. Okay, so a lot of fives coming up. And, what I'm understanding is that things have not really been in a great balance. And you've been really juggling imbalance. You've been juggling a bunch of imbalanced systems, a bunch of, out of whack experiences, and they've been really heavy, and it's creating a conflict and a discord between your desire, between your desire complex, your desire spectrum. You basically don't know what you want here, and that's what Jupiter and Capricorn is trying to come in and help you to solve, because Jupiter and Sag should have also really helped you to understand what you want more too. But it feels like for Scorpio, you have a lot of different paths you could take, a lot of options open, and a lot of maybe voices or suggestions or pressure from the outside world to go a lot of different ways. It's like a zigzag energetically. And this has to be kind of the focus of your life. Things have to become a little bit more linear. So we went through a period of a few years from about 2016 to 2019 where things became alinear, so like in a very not linear, but now they become more linear as Capricorn time comes in. So you have to really affirm that within and move into that as well. So second week of December comes in, we're doing things one step at a time. We're not trying to juggle 10 different things at once. I just slammed the camera. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm talking with my hands here. We're not trying to juggle 10 things at once, but that's sort of what it's like, right? It's like the whole experience just goes into like a shaken type of discord. That can happen if we're giving ourselves too much power to do too many things. So thinking, yes, I can have 3 different jobs. I can raise a family. I can, pursue this creative project along with all of that. What I have seen about Capricorn energy, especially with Jupiter moving into that sign, is that it really operates off of a simplistic, like give and take physics type of reality. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So you let go and you receive. You get rid of and you are given. It's not so much like hoarding. Okay, so it's not like I'm getting. And Scorpio can be one of the signs that's either it's like giving everything that it has, or it's getting everything. And there's sometimes not a good exchange of like both happening at the same time. So that has to be developed during these first 2 weeks, and that is vital. Okay, the ability to let go of something when it's outworn its path, so that a new and better path and a more authentic path can come in, along with the ability to know when to start and to know when to move into action with something. So this is important. I want to see the third week to understand more. The Hermit reversed, rooted down by Four of Pentacles. So there's kind of like a sense of duty that I feel here as well. There's a sense of having to maybe prepare to do some difficult things, or what might have once been perceived as difficult, but now it feels right. Now it feels connected. I think that December is such an important month for you guys to really be upping your own energetic protection, to really be reinforcing those auric fields, to really be doing auric repair, to really be getting the chakras in balance, focusing on health, focusing on well-being. Because something about your energy also is not feeling super protected either. You feel vulnerable this month, and you feel like vulnerable to accusations or vulnerable to the past. And it's not really bad, because I think that you already solved this last month. But once you come to that place where you've solved problems like this that were coming up, you are kind of coming out in a very vulnerable and very soft place. So December is a time to start strengthening yourself, okay? December is a time that is going to show you what it takes to get stronger now, what it takes to get more hardened, what it takes to become more Capricorn, right? Because Scorpio and Capricorn are similar in a lot of ways, except Scorpio is actually quite a lot softer than Capricorn. It is quite a lot more vulnerable to difficulty, or like perceiving difficulty as something that is painful, than Capricorn. So that's what you really have to focus this month is, does this have to be something so difficult? Am I perceiving this in too sensitive of a way? Am I hypersensitized to small things that, mean nothing to me in the long run? Really, really good to start formulating. So you've always got to be sensitive as a Scorpio. You've always got to be aware and attentive to what doesn't feel right, but also you have to be aware of what will never get you anywhere to be upset about. So there's like a toughness that's emerging for you guys this month. Week number 4, 8 of Pentacles, rooted down by King of Wands. I actually really like this. So there's actually a really incredible power for you coming up here. And the first 3 weeks is an adjustment. Okay, so there is an adjustment process here. And, maybe you're feeling just a slight bit of lack because Saturn energy is getting very, very activated. We have Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto all in Saturn's sign of Capricorn. So it is a very Saturnian energy I'm feeling here. And, your experience of Saturn, Scorpio, was, coming from 2014 to about 2016, roughly, when Saturn was in your sign. And I think that when you feel this coming on, there might be a bit of a post-traumatic stress. There might be a bit of a like, whoa, this feels very reminiscent of when things were really tough for me. And so there's like there's an immediate reaction that might not be so appropriate right now. There might be an immediate reaction to sensing something from the past, but now you've changed, now you've grown, and this can actually be super empowering. Because where this puts you in the 4th week of December is in a very creative place. This is 2 of the most creative energies of the tarot. It's the motivation. This is what Jupiter and Sag really did give you. The idea of what you need, the feelings that you need to have to feel that you are channeling your life force appropriately, along with the ability to work hard, along with the ability to perform a labor of love. So for those of you who are super creative, for those of you who are trying to create right now, it's going to feel hard at first, but then by the end of the month, you're going to feel like you are over it. You're past it. So there's a progression. There's a coming of age this month. There's a coming of wisdom here, as well as just overcoming. Okay, overcoming a past. And you might have already done this in November to a degree, but this really solidifies in December. So no longer maybe are you so terrified of a person from your past. Maybe no longer are you so worried about what somebody could do to you, or, basically giving all of your power over. I think we talked a lot about this last month for you guys too, like how you kind of sacrifice a lot of your power and give it to other people when you're feeling like you need something from them, or when you're feeling like, you're missing someone who's done you wrong. It really gives them a lot of power. And I think that that's really closing out for you here. I think there's a super, super strong sense of Scorpio no longer missing something that was bad for them. So there is a bit of a withdrawal process. There is a bit of a coping and grieving process. But there's also an immense source of creativity within that all, okay? There's an immense source of working towards balance and reprotecting yourself. I think that there might be some research, or there might be some studying to do about how to feel more protected. Okay, if you wanted to get a reading or a private session with me, I have a lot of things that I work one-on-one with people about, rebuilding the aura, rebuilding the protective field, rebuilding their connection to groundedness and how that can really manifest into your life. So I'll, of course, have that linked below as usual. But yeah, regardless of whether that's looking like a private session or not, that's one of the main focuses of this month is reprotecting your body. So this could look like, getting back into hormonal balance. It's a good time for a diet for a lot of you, especially once we get to about the third week. I don't mean like fad diets, but it's such a great time to be doing healthy things, such a great time, because the Hermit reversed is an odd kind of outlier in this reading. It's your only major arcana, and it is reversed. So there's a sense of shadow work, or journeying through the deep dark existential and lighting up the shadows. That's feeling a little bit old to you now, perhaps, because it's reversed. It's like it's not the right thing anymore, but it's still very much a present part of your journey right now. And the Hermit is always also a protective figure, but when it's reversed, sometimes it can feel vulnerable. It can give a feeling of like immense vulnerability. So you might feel like people around you who are begrudging you have a lot of power, and that's kind of fearsome or something. So what this month really deals with is becoming more protected, raising your vibration, becoming physically stronger, so that you don't feel so unhealthily vulnerable, so that you don't feel so unsafe in the like freedom of other people. Okay, so what other people could do to me, what other people could think of me. There's a very hypersensitive jaunt about that in your energy right now. The best part of December for you is to see inner conflict, grief from the past, feelings of loss being redirected and re-energized into the creative process, and almost blooming into like a beautiful, new, productive, profitable, or protective experience for you. This is the highlight of the month. If you can really work hard, for those of you who've really accepted your lot, or accepted where you are, and accepted what you need to do. Okay, what does it mean to be protected? Okay, what does it mean to aid or repair your own sense of protection, your own sense of health and strength? This month will really try those things and really show you those things. So it's kind of an intermediary, what's the word? That's not the right word. It's like an intermediate type of month where it's almost connecting to November and January. It's like a bridge. It's not really a time where anything super, super flashy is going to happen, but it is a preparation time for that. Okay. I feel that January will somewhat be this way for you too, but especially by the time that we're getting towards March and we're getting towards like spring in Northern Hemisphere, that will really start to inject a lot of major energy based on how you've done here. So, what not to do this month: do not get too connected to addictive cycles. Do not get too connected to grieving or pessimism or needing to cry in bed or anything like that, or arguments, or, really catastrophizing things. I could see that for this month as well. Catastrophizing where you're at. That could be the very, very easy for many, many Scorpios. 5 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles reversed. You're having to work quite a lot here. You're having to put in a lot of work. No, Capricorn time for Scorpios, even when it's not a super, super strong Capricorn year, is always a very, very busy time. So as we move into, especially the second half, and then into the beginning of January, that's a busy, busy time for Scorpios. So there's maybe a lot of pressure, maybe a lot of things that you're having to do for work. And it might also feel like your personal life is becoming work, because Jupiter in Sagittarius gave you about a year of just being able to do whatever with your routine for the most part, being able to do things as they come, being able to be flexible with what you do. But now things have to be a little bit more regimented, okay, especially as we get around the last 2 weeks of the month. So yeah, keep that in mind, Scorpios. Give yourself rest, do what's right for your body, find the joy in protecting and regimenting yourself through doing just a little bit of work on that here. That will last, and that will give you so much more time and free space over the next few years, actually. So anyway, Scorpios, if you guys want to see your central theme for the month of December, what this is all coming back to, as well as your 2 power cards, which are going to be 2 advice archetypes, how to come through this time with more flying colors, how to channel this energy. I think this is one of the most important extended readings of the month, because I know that this seems a little bit like grayscale, seems a little bit monotone, seems a little bit tough. So let's definitely jump over to Patreon and check these out. I would love to have you all over there. You can check the description box below, as well as click into the center of your screen to jump over and see the extended. For those of you who are new here, I so hope you'll hit the subscribe button. Your likes and comments make my day as always, and I have a lot of important information in the description box. My new ebook will be on holiday sale, so thank you guys so much for checking that out, and we will be talking soon. I post new videos every Friday, and without further ado, let's jump over to Patreon to check out this extended.